All right, so the word that's in my heart that's on repeat right now is the word bold. And the way that the Lord is laying that on my spirit is actually bold is something that the Lord has been calling me to for quite some time. It's actually a word that He's been giving me. And it's even gone as far as it being prophesied to me on multiple occasions that the Lord was calling me to be more bold. The problem is I could not get in my spirit exactly what the Lord meant by me being more bold. Like, what is it to be bold? So I didn't know if bold meant to be more aggressive. I didn't know if bold meant to be more forward speaking. I didn't know if bold meant to stand up for myself more. I really didn't understand what the Lord meant by me being more bold. See, in my personality type, if I had to describe myself, I would describe myself as more meek. Some may even say docile, more mild-mannered. None of those things to me which describe bold. So I felt like I had to be something else to be bold. I really didn't grasp what bold was until recently. My very first video that I put up, I was in a headscarf and a robe. I never really intended for that video to see the light of day. It was actually just a practice video. And that came about because I was waiting and waiting and waiting for this bold persona to come over me, and it never really did. And I kind of got tired of waiting. So I said, let me just record this video just to see what it's like to record a video. And I'm just going to speak from my heart. And I did that. And so I got to see it and I was like, okay, I think I could do this. And so I decided that I was going to do a cleaner version of the video, a more polished version. And I've tried and I tried and it just couldn't come together. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. And so then finally the Lord just unctioned in my spirit and said, release the video. And out of frustration, I was in agreement. Okay, I'm going to release this video. So I did. And when I did it, I felt a soft unction in my spirit where the Lord just said, bold. And I was like, bold? And the Lord was like, bold. I said, so wait a minute. You mean to tell me bold was just me releasing a video? And the Lord was like, bold is just doing it. In that moment, I got it. I was like, okay. So bold is when you need a loan for your business and you don't feel like the bank will listen, because who are you to apply? Apply anyway. Bold is submitting the application. Bold is bidding for the contract. Bold is applying for the job that you know is outside of what the world says you qualify for, but in your soul you know you can do. Apply anyway. Bold is stepping out on that water, like when Jesus was on the water and when the storm took over and Jesus called for the water for it to be still and called for Peter, I believe, to walk on water. Bold is that. That is bold. To be calm in the middle of a storm because you know in your heart that this is something that you are called to do. So regardless of the fear that surrounds it, regardless of the world's opinion of who qualifies and who doesn't, do it anyway. And do it again and again and again until you see the evidence of what God said He was going to do for you. That's bold. Bold is standing up to be a Christian, even in the midst of a time where Christianity is not quite so popular, and where the things that we believe in Jesus and the things that we believe in the Word of God aren't quite popular to believe in right now. But being bold and unapologetic about who you are and what you stand for, that's bold. Having the faith to believe in God no matter what. God gave me that when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days, and how at his weakest moment, but right before his pinnacle, Satan came to him and propositioned him and told him that he would give him all of the world at his disposal. And Jesus was bold enough to speak back to him the word of God. And the Lord gave me that the one thing that Jesus never did was take God down from his rightful position. He never removed God from the throne in the presence of the enemy or at all ever. He was bold enough to believe that God is who he said he is, period. And so when we stand out on faith and we do something that feels scary, but we feel called to do, that is refusing to take God off of the throne. Yes, the world says I can't have this, but God said I can. Yes, the world says I don't qualify for this, but God says I do. Yes, the world says they've never seen someone like me do this before, but God says I am qualified. Bold. Be bold enough to claim the things that you are called to receive in this life. Be bold. God says faith is not enough if it is not coupled with the boldness to stand on the authority that God has given you to receive it.